Hey guys, what's going on? Greenville Gear. Thanks as always for tuning in. It's just really cool, people stopping by the channel and all that stuff, and always appreciate the likes and subscriptions and all that stuff. So thanks for doing that. So I have today for you to show you a stack of PSA graded cards, vintage Hall of Fame baseball, 1950s, 1960s. Now this is the product of, a few months of collecting. I just kind of make a stack here at the card desk, and I just have a kind of pile of stuff I want to put on the channel, and I wait till I've got a little bit to show you all. And so it's fun to get to do this. So let me show you what I grabbed. This is this project that I've been working on, again, 1950s, 1960s, vintage Hall of Fame. And I've been collecting them only in PSA slabs just because I'd like this part of my collection to be uniform. I don't care about that so much, the rest of my collection, but I just like the consistency of that. So let me show you what I've grabbed. No particular order. This is a 1964 Topps Harmon Killebrew. It might be one of my first Killebrew cards, to be honest. This 64 set is cool. The centering sometimes is a little challenging, as are a lot of these sets. You can see there's a bit of staining here. This corner here is not great. You can kind of see that that's punched in, but a PSA 4, just nice eye appeal, which is always my thing in grabbing these vintage cards. I just like, if it looks a little bit like a vintage card, that's okay with me. I'd like 7s and 8s, of course, but 3s, 4s, and 5s, kind of my sweet spot. It's a nice looking vintage baseball card. So that's the Killebrew, card 177. The next card is actually from the same set, and my first card of Jim Bunning, and another Hall of Famer. Probably not one of the most desirable Hall of Famers, but I was like picking up cards. If you're in the Hall of Fame, that's good enough for me. So also a PSA 4 from the same set, a little more off right to left, but still a pretty sharp looking card, number 265. And there's the back of the card. So the Bunning is pretty nice looking, I thought. And again, fits my framework. Okay, next card was an upgrade, actually. The original card was this one. This is the 1961 Topps Early Win, and I had it in a PSA 4, and the photo registration just isn't that great, and the kind of orange and the blue just aren't as crisp. So this was in a PSA 4, and I saw in another sale online a PSA 5, and this wasn't a pickup because a 5 is better than a 4, or I can somehow resell this or something. But it really, and you can see on the left versus the right, you can see how much more detailed his face is. The photo is just crisper, cleaner. You can see that the coloring is just a little brighter and so on. So I went from this 4 to this 5, and so that was kind of a fun little change in the collection. And so I don't know what I'll do with the 4. I'm definitely not a flipper or a dealer or anything like that, but sometimes if I end up with a duplicate of a card, I will sell it. And why do I sell it? So that I can buy more cards. And so I'll probably do that with that 4. But anyway, here's the new 5. Just a really cool Hall of Famer. Again, PSA 5, card 455 in the 61 Topps set. My experience, too, has been that I've ended up with more 1961 Topps than a lot of the other vintage sets, and I'm not entirely sure. Be interested to hear what you say in the comments. I'm not sure if it's maybe for collectors, a less desirable set. Maybe people don't like 1961 Topps. I think it's pretty cool. So I've ended up with some 61 Topps. The next card, and these get, I guess, a little bigger in the last 3 or 4, but the next card is a card I wanted for a long time. It's kind of maybe a more obscure card, but I just had my eye on it and just wanted it. And it's this 1959 Topps Destruction Crew for the Cleveland Indians. Now, of course, the Guardians, but this card is just really, really, really neat to me. And the reason is I like Minoso, and he's a guy that I collect. Doby is on the card as well, Larry Doby, another Hall of Famer. And in the middle is Rocky Colavito. 3 players that I like from the vintage era, and they're all on the same card. I like the orange background. I just thought this was a really neat multiplayer card, and I had been really stalking this card, and I had seen it in a 4 and a 5, and I had seen some raw examples on ComC, and I never quite pulled the trigger. And then, as luck would have it, my patience paid off, and I saw this 6 at a good price, and I grabbed it. So it was a lesson to me, and maybe for all of us, to just be patient. If you have a card on your want list, that you can get it. You just, again, have to wait some time and wait for the right card to come along, and this was an example of that. So I was really pumped to get the Destruction Crew card from 1959 Topps into the collection. 2 Hall of Famers and Colavito. Pretty cool. Up next, my first of this player, and I only have a couple 1954 Toppses, but this is a 1954 Topps Phil Rizzuto. Really nice looking card. Another Hall of Famer, and of course a Yankee. This is in an older PSA slab. It doesn't have the hologram and all that stuff, so most of mine do, if not all of them, but nevertheless it was too good of a card to pass up. I love the backs on these 54s as well, that dark rich green. So there's Phil Rizzuto in a PSA 5. That was a fun one to pick up and add for sure. Definitely not a card I thought I would get, but I love these early 50s cards if I could get them. Holy smokes, nice card. So excited for the Rizzuto. Kind of sticking with this mid to early 1950s pickups. This is my first from this set. This is a 1952 Topps Gil Hodges. And this is another one of those great eye appeal cards. If you look at this card this way, it's a PSA 3. Again, it's 1952 Topps. It just looks really nice. That's not the sharpest card in the world, but it looks like a vintage card. It's got rounded corners, as you can see here and here. But it's my first card in this run of 50s, 60s Hall of Famers from the 52 Topps set, which is so iconic. And I just was pumped to have this. I love this kind of orange wall background. Love the colors on this, and I love the orientation too, that this is a horizontal card as well in the set, which I'm always a sucker for. So the 1952 Gil Hodges is now in this run for me. Really thrilled to have it in the collection. And the last card, and this is a guy that I wish I had more cards of, and I you know, these are big cards to try to get. And this is a great example of eye appeal versus grade, and just owning the card, I think, for sure. It is a 1955 Topps Ted Williams. There's the card there. If you kind of just look at it this way, it's just a nice looking card. It's off top to bottom. It's got much more border on the top side. But if you look at this card just like this, and I've been having it on a stand here off to the left of where I'm shooting this right now, and I've been looking at it and just really enjoying the card. It's just a nice looking Ted Williams baseball card from 1955. Now, if you noticed, it is a PSA 1.5, so it's probably the lowest grade in this whole run, and it would be hard for you to notice, and sorry about all the glare here, but there is a crease. There it is. Yeah, you can kind of see it right here. There's a crease here, and there's another one, a smaller one, up in this corner. Again, super hard to notice. This one, easier to notice, but still, you might not have noticed when I first showed the card. And when I just have it on the stand like this, it's just absolutely fantastic. And so that's the 1955 Ted Williams. So it's been a blast picking these cards up. Again, this is, I don't know, 3-4 months of cards that I've been acquiring that I wanted to show you guys. And it's just fun to get to put them in this video for you. So thanks as always for watching. And leave me a comment. Let me know if you have a favorite card, or what you think about some of the things that I talked about, you know, eye appeal and you know, those kinds of things, which of course lots of guys talk about in the hobby, and that's a fun way to kind of collect 1961 Topps. Whatever you think. What is your favorite card of this group? Just let me know. Always appreciate it when you all drop a comment. Thanks as always. Appreciate you tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one. Okay, bye.